Graphic organizers are a phenomenal learning aid, and they can be used to organize new information as well as to help visualize and make connections between prior information and new information. And successful learning is reinforced by simply using this in the learning and the teaching process. So some of the top 10 reasons you want to do it is the retention of information. As that information is taken into the mind and then it is transferred onto a piece of paper or onto a technology of some kind that's using a visual aid or a graphic organizer, it builds a memory. They can be fun for the learners, especially for older learners as well as younger learners. I've used them with my college students and have absolutely enjoyed them. They were amazed. They had forgotten that they had used them. Graphic organizers are wonderful for our visual learners as they're able to take information and put it into a unique organization or into a unique picture or framework. It helps to scaffold knowledge. That is the greatest part because we have new knowledge and we want to be able to integrate that new knowledge into old knowledge so that it is useful and it's able to be pulled back out in a time of need. Also, it is going to really activate that active learning. It increases motivation. Have you ever had a student who just couldn't understand why they needed to do something? Well, graphic organizer can help with that. It helps them to gain some ideas and to actually become excited. They're also very easy to use, as well as having a variety of them. There are so many different options. You can find a graphic organizer for just about anything. Additionally, it really helps to enhance the comprehension of our students while creating relationships between the new information as well as the old information. So let's look and see some examples. Probably one of the most familiar ones, a Venn diagram. We've been using them forever. I think that the first time I used a Venn diagram, I must have been in kindergarten or first grade. And this is a compare and contrast idea. So let's encourage our students to continue to use these. Another one is simply a relationship. Let's look at attributes maybe, or characteristics. For instance, if I were to put a dog in the middle of this, I might put down as characteristics bark, lick, ears, tail, wags, puppies, right? It could be anything. We've also used it as a brainstorming. What if you were to use the middle square and write animals? Now you reach out and you can say, look at this. Let's put on cats, let's put dogs, maybe fish and birds. Our students are able now to include those characteristics as they build outward, but be able to see some of those similarities and differences between each of these animals or whatever we're doing at the time. Now, I'm sure many people have seen one of these. This is a family chart. So we tend to use graphic organizers many times without even realizing that we're using it. So this is a family tree. Very simple. It goes up from ourselves to our parents, grandparents, and continues on. This happens to be a 4-generational family tree. One of my absolute favorite things to use is the Kwl chart. The Kwl chart looks at what do we already know about something, what would I like to know about it, and what have I learned? So many times you can think about this as a pre-test. What do we want to know? What I want to know is the part where we're actually learning. It's the present. And what I learned would be the assessment. It is a phenomenal way to get our students to actually reflect. You can also easily adapt a graphic organizer. This is one that I created back in the day when we lived in Denver, and I used it with my students as our Broncos went on to the Super Bowl. They loved the idea of having a KWL chart, and it was all around creating a glossary, and they enjoyed it immensely. Now, our topic wasn't on footballs. It was just fun to do this, as this was the topic of the time, was whether or not the Broncos would win the Super Bowl. One of the easiest ways to really get an idea of what to do and how to do it, and just to be inspired, is go to the Google Images and just browse. Input graphic organizers. You'll be surprised at the variety and all of the options that are available.